I believe we're going to be joined by David Aldridge, the Hall of Famer from The Athletic, D.C. Yeah. D.A., how are you, sir?
What's happening, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, man.
Out all right?
Yeah, we out here running around outside, man.
You good.
How'd it go with the
Dave,
snow,
you like
D.A.?
straight line, right? That's straight line.
Right. Man, I took 2 passes yesterday, first at 9 a.m. because they said do it as soon as you wake up while it's still snow. And that was hard. But, I mean, it was snow, so it was all right. I was able to move it. And then the second one, it took 2 hours off, did a second pass, and I said, I'm tired, y'all. I'm going to go watch these games. Man, I just did an hour. It took me an hour just to get the ice off my steps. Like an hour.
No.
I'm
not. DA, I was in the same boat. I did early at like 8:30, and that snow was so light. I almost could use I have like those like push broom things.
Almost like a broom. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I did it again at like 3. I listened to the start of the AFC Championship game and was shoveling. Right. And that was heavy duty, and I'm not looking forward to having to go out there this afternoon.
Oh, my gosh. It's not that it wasn't – I mean, I'm glad I did it yesterday because it wasn't – it was only like an inch, but it's an inch of ice. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just harder. It's just harder to chop it up, and then you gotta put it somewhere, you know. So,
it's not fun.
Yeah.
Every time something like this happens, I go outside, I keep going back to, like, how the hell did I do this stuff? Like, I watched these guys play the football games yesterday, especially in Denver.
Right.
I used to enjoy cold weather like that. Now, man,
I know.
I had to be literally crazy.
I used to love it. Used to love when it snowed. Not just because I stayed home from school, but I just like being out in the snow. It was fun. You throw snowballs and do all that. And now I just can't. I'm so old now.
DA, you're not lying, man. So what did you think of the games yesterday? We can start with Pats Broncos. That weather rolled in, and both offenses were just completely incapacitated, basically.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? It's funny. Like, I always loved the idea of cold weather football and January football. But then when you watch it, it's like it's not very good. It's not very compelling because nobody can do anything. You know what I mean? Like, neither team could do anything in the weather. Mm-hmm. And it's not their fault. I'm not blaming them. It's impossible to be productive in conditions like that. And so I guess, what was the real home field advantage for Denver when they couldn't move the ball either? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
depending on which direction you were going, because one direction you couldn't see, the other one you could see.
Yeah, so I just thought. I mean, it was a close game. So you watch it to the end, but I was just like, man, I would really like to see these teams actually playing football against each other, And it just it kind of took away from it for me a little bit, but. Hey, give New England credit. They went in there. They did what they had to do. They ran the ball effectively enough, and were able to, their kicker made 1 field goal, and the Broncos kicker, who's really good, missed 2. Like I said, the conditions made it impossible, but that's the conditions everybody had to play in.
Early in that game, when they got down and they were 4th down, and they went for it,
the field goal.
And the guy was like, whoever was calling the game, like, they should go for it here. Yeah, Romo. He said, because this is the weather's going to get worse, and it's not going to be a high-scoring game. I think that was a major mistake in the game.
That was a mistake. Take the point in a game like that when you know that the weather's going to deteriorate rapidly, and they know. I mean, it's Denver. They've played in that stuff like that before. They know what it's like when the weather comes in. I remember a long time ago when I was with Turner, we did a baseball. I'd covered a playoff series, and it was the Rockies and the Philadelphia Phillies, and we did a game in Denver, and it was like 58. First pitch was 58 degrees. It was it was a little chilly, but it wasn't bad at all. And you could literally see the weather coming. Like, you could see it in the air. You could see the clouds rolling in, and it dropped 35 degrees in half an hour. It was unbelievable. That's how fast it happens in Denver. They know that. It happens fast. Yeah. So, they should have kicked the field goal and taken the points and tried to ride it out with their defense.
Are you underwhelmed by the Pats making it to the Super Bowl?
No. No, I never They earned it. They went on the road and earned it.
They won 9 games on the road.
Yeah,
year.
Exactly. They were undefeated on the road. I'm not going to denigrate that. No, not at all. I think good for them, good for Vrabel, good for Drake May. They went out there and earned it and got it. That's a hard place to win a game. Very hard place to win a game. So, no, I'm not going to denigrate that at all. They've been a terrific team all season. They've played at a high level. The quarterbacks played at a high level. They did what you would like to see the Commanders do. They had a young quarterback who struggled his rookie year. They said, you know what? We got to help this fella out. And they went out and drafted his left tackle, the fourth pick. They went and brought in one of the best offensive minds in McDaniels. Whatever you think of him as a head coach, he's a hell of an OC. They drafted a wide receiver in the 3rd round. They brought in Stephon Diggs. They drafted a running back. They did everything to help that kid, and they did. And and they're in the Super Bowl. And his play leveled up because he had better people around him. And so that is credit to them. No, not at all. I give them full credit for having a sensational season. They had a really hard game at home against Houston. Same thing, same bad conditions, and they keep winning them games. You know what I mean? Like there's 2 teams out there playing, and the Patriots are the team that keeps winning those games in the bad weather. So, no, I give them all the credit in the world for it.
Well, DA, we saw the quarterback yesterday who, no matter how well he plays, people still knock him in Sam Darnold. Should the narrative change on him at this point? I mean, he hadn't won the Super Bowl, but hell, 2 years in a row he's won 14 games, and he's in it now.
He's in it. He's playing in it. So I mean, he's making it. Look, he played great last year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You got to ask the Vikings what they were thinking. Like, he had a bad playoff game. Yes, he had a bad playoff game against the Rams. He was not good that night. But they decided that was enough to convince them that they had to go in a different direction. Okay, how's that working out for you? He's in the Super Bowl. What's your team doing? So
if you think about
I would say it worked out well for him.
Think about Tennessee chases off Vrabel, and Minnesota chases off Darnold, and now those 2 teams
both of them are playing each other.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
The NFC game obviously had a lot more fireworks, a lot more offense. Was more entertaining. It's crazy that the lone real mistake in that game was I don't even know if we can call it a muff punt, just an incredibly bad job.
Trip up.
Yeah.
And that makes all the difference in the game.
I felt bad for that guy because he was going to fair catch it. He wasn't trying to do anything with it. He was just trying to catch it, and he just misjudged. I guess the way the ball was coming down was a little over his head, and he tried to back up. And I know, BMitch, you've been in that situation. You just let the ball. You have to let the ball go. You don't want to, but you have to let it go, right?
Yeah,
I mean, if you're not on balance, you can't.
Think about the other 2 things.
The only thing that can happen is bad.
If he lets it go, it could pop into the end zone, or it can even hit the ground and go the other direction, but you still have possession of the ball.
You have the ball. Yeah, and I know it's hard to do that in real time, and you're trying to make a play and help your team, and I get it. So I felt bad for him. That's a tough way to go out. But Reek Woolen gave it right back to him. So I mean, he cost them 7, but they got 7 back. So I mean, it kind of worked out in the end. That was a great game. 2 great teams slugging it out. Really, really well played game. I don't know. I felt bad for Stafford just because you don't know how many chances he's going to have left. It's the unforgiving league, and he's he played great. I thought, and you just hope that. It doesn't really matter to me if he gets another chance, but you just know time's not on his side, and he's been a really, really good quarterback for a long time.
Totally.
He has. With that, looking ahead now, I mean, we're 2 weeks out, right? And there'll be a million miles of discourse over the Super Bowl matchup. But the way the Seahawks are playing, man, they've been phenomenal all year. Their defense is playing great, but New England's defense is playing great too. What do you think of the matchup?
I think it's going to be terrific. Like, I'm looking forward to this because I think, again, if you look at the body of work over the course of a season, how could you say these aren't 2 of the top? If you want to say they're not the top 2 teams, you think Denver was better, okay. You think, I don't know if the Rams were better or Chicago, but these are 2 of the top 3 or 4 teams in the league. Like, I don't think you can rate them any lower than that. So you're getting a matchup of 2 really excellent teams, 2 really well-coached teams, 2 good defenses, 2 good quarterbacks. They both can run the ball. pretty well. I'm excited about it. I really am. I mean, I think this is going to be. I don't know how it's going to be. Like I was going to say, I think it's going to be a defensive game. Like remember when the Patriots when they won the Super Bowl? Was it the Rams? They beat 14-10 or 10-7 or something like.
Yeah.
I could see it being one of those type of Super Bowls, like a low scoring. Especially, it is Santa Clara. They could have some weather out there. I've been out there for playoff games in January where it was pouring rain or snowing, or sleeting or whatever. So that weather does come in that time of year. So they could be playing. It could be sloppy, so I could see a defensive game, but watch it be 42-41. Predict these things. So.
Right.
Talking
with our friend David Aldridge from The Athletic. You can give him a follow at David Aldridge DC. Check out all of his work in The Athletic. DA, locally, we're in this interesting holding pattern with the defensive coordinator search. And some of these more experienced guys that Washington had been linked to or even had interviewed have taken other jobs. Most recently, Jonathan Gannon got a new job. He won't be here. We know Ulbrich won't be here. What do you make of the pace and maybe the options Washington has at D coordinator at this point?
Well, you would you'd like to think that if they were going to if they fired Joe Witt, in part because of lack of experience, as much as I like Al Harris, and I do, I'm not sure how you can bring Al Harris in because he doesn't have any experience as DC either. You know what I mean? I think he's really good, and he will be a really good DC. But the particular circumstances of Dan Quinn's employment, I think, require him to bring an experienced guy in here. So you'd like to think it's Raheem Morris at this point, right? I would think that's who they're looking at, but who knows? The cycle is weird this year because there's just so many openings, and there's guys who are, been on staffs that went deep into the playoffs that had to get eliminated before they could get interviewed. So, it's not like to me, it's not like a panic situation, but I do think you want to get this resolved before the Super Bowl, right? You've got 2 weeks here to kind of get this, because you don't want to, they don't like it when you announce news during the Super Bowl week. So, I would like to think this week is when you get this done.
Could this week be a week? Because, normally maybe they're waiting for somebody on one of those staffs. And
maybe.
And they wait for that bye week. Because during the bye week, when those two teams that make it to the Super Bowl normally allow their people to talk.
That's right, they can talk.
So people keep saying it, are they waiting on somebody on the other staff? I say I hadn't heard that, but I wouldn't say it either because now you spark somebody else's attention.
Yeah, no, it's tough. But, I think you run the risk, continually waiting for somebody, you just run a risk of not getting the guy you want because you can't wait but for so long, So I would just think, I think they were waiting on Ulbrich to see what would happen there, and obviously he's staying there, I guess. So, I just don't think there's just not a lot of proven guys left. And again, I know it comes down to philosophy and personnel, and do you want a guy that wants to play more zone like Quinn likes to play? Okay, but I always go back to the great Bum Phillips quote about Don Shula. He said he'd take his'n and beat urine and take urine and beat his'n. You know what I mean? A coach got to adapt, man. You got to adapt to the personnel you got. Whatever you got is what you play in that year. You know what I mean? So I would like to think that they'll bring in somebody, because you can't overhaul the whole defense. You can add players to it, but some guys are going to be here playing next year that have played this year. So you got to find a guy that can take the group you've got and make them better. Totally. You know what I mean? So to me, that's the number one yardstick to me, not whether they like playing zone or quarters or whatever, or man, or they blitz a lot or they don't blitz at all. I don't really care about any of that. Can they make that group better?
100%.
Yeah, because you mentioned it talking about the Patriots, how, after a rough rookie season for Drake, New England, they got really aggressive in free agency and made their team better. They got a new coach. They improved everything top to bottom. I think, listen, obviously it's a big offseason for Dan Quinn. It's a big offseason for a number of players. I think it's I think the most pressure's on Adam Peters. I think you got to get more aggressive in free agency, and that doesn't mean 36-year-old vets that can come in. I mean, the veterans he signed gave them something. Like, I'm not knocking that, but you need to add multi-year reinforcements, guys coming off rookie deals.
Yeah, no, I mean, you have to be more. It can't just look. They had a great run in 24. Every signing hit just about. I mean, every one of the guys they brought in played at a very high level, and the proof is they got to the championship game, right? And the exact opposite happened this past year. Everything went wrong. None of those guys had a great second year. So yeah, they got to get younger. And I mentioned Reek Willen. He's a free agent. I'll just put it this way: I know he made a bad mistake yesterday and almost cost him a game. Reek Willen can play for me. I'll tell you that right now. He can play for me. And a team that needs some cornerbacks, he can play for me. Okay? Yeah. So that's exactly the type of dude that I think you have to take a long look at in terms of how do you improve the defense. You bring in, I think he's 26, 27, a guy that's played at a pretty high level, and for whatever reason seems to be on his way out in Seattle. I would take, those are the types of guys that I'm like, all right, let's see if he can turn it around here. Guys like that can be with your core group. And I think there is a core group here of 6 or 7 guys that you're going to rock with for a while that you think can really help you, maintain what you built here, what you're building here. But they need help. You can't just depend on 8 guys on a 53-man roster. You need like 15, 16 guys, and that's where they need to add. That's what they need to add.
And find a way to learn how to tackle.
Yeah,
because I've been watching these playoffs, and I've been watching some of these defensive backs. They bring it like they're linebackers, dog. And I know the rules have changed, but if they can do it, then damn it, we can do it.
Brian, it's unbelievable that you watch on national TV.
Yes.
on national television broadcasts of NFL games, I see defenses where linebackers shoot the gap. They tackle people in the backfield for a 5-yard loss. I see cornerbacks that never miss a tackle in the open space. They always get the guy down immediately. They're always coming with intentions, with bad intentions, with speed. I see defensive front fours not 6, not 7, 4, that get to the quarterback all the time. 4 guys. Yes. They don't blitz. They don't do nothing. They put the same 4 guys down every time, and they always get to the quarterback. I see it week after week after week, and I don't see it here.
Yeah, there's some pretty glaring things you see, especially watching football this weekend, how good all of those defenses were, and just the cleaner fundamentals. I mean, if you think about both of those games, it was the very few mistakes that turned it, right?
Just look at how the Broncos put Patrick Surtain out there and say, do what you want. You ain't complete no passes on him. Do what you want.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Okay. Gonzalez gave up one big play, and guess what? At the end of the game, who picked off the pass? And
oh yeah, he shut that down. Totally.
That's David Blau's brother-in-law we're talking about.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So every other team seem to draft cornerbacks that shut people down, shut opponents down. Crazy.
Yeah. DA, thank you for the time. Good luck
Appreciate you,
digging
Dave.
out, man.
All right, guys.
All right,
My pleasure.
Take care, man.
All right. That's our friend David Aldridge from The Athletic.